Welcome everyone to a new series we are starting on Lending Language Podcast. Arnell, can you kind of explain what that is?
Well, we are starting the Reddit Wind Down, or RWD for short. So, Ro, what should we expect from this series?
From these series, we are going to attempt to answer, read, as well as discuss some stories that we see either from people who are learning English or stories from teachers who are teaching English. We believe that if we do these series, it's a fun and interesting time, maybe perhaps answer some questions that you might have already about English, or answer some questions that you didn't even know you had, as well as to perhaps provide some insight about our times as teaching English to people who are learning English. We hope the teachers who are following us, listening to our podcast, can also get some clarity in what they can do in order to better prepare themselves. So in this first episode, this is going to be a two-part episode. And so part one, we're going to go onto Reddit and answer the questions from people who are learning English. And part two, we are going to focus on teachers who are teaching English as a second language.
As you can see from us in our attire and everything, this is a very comfy type of vibe. Yeah. Everyone, get your snacks, get comfy, and let's all take a sip of our wine to wind down together.
Clink. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with the first post we have tonight. So this one gave me a good chuckle from when I read it. So this is from the Reddit thread English Learning. And this is a question from Playboy Monk. What does bit apostrophe mean?
Well, this is a part in a song from Lil Uzi Vert's song Myron. So those of you who have followed the Contraction Crash Course series, we use apostrophes to contract words together into one. For example, it is becomes it's.
But in this one, bit apostrophe s is actually not a contracted word, nor is it an actual word that we use in formal English. This one is actually a word that is contracted. So the actual word is,
I think we'll leave you guys to Google the uncontracted version of bit. I recommend looking it up in the Urban Dictionary. So the Urban Dictionary is a great resource for those of you who are interested in knowing what certain slang words means. I also recommend you use it with a grain of salt, meaning you should use the Urban Dictionary with a healthy amount of skepticism. Or I should say, don't take it so literally or at face value.
Yes.
Information that you find might not be entirely accurate, or it should be considered carefully before you accept that it's true.
Yes, I agree with Arnell. There are times, especially with how language is constantly changing, so the meaning of words that we might be using today could have a different meaning. I know we've had words from our younger days being used in a totally different way, and I get very confused when someone says, oh, that's not how the word is used.
That's true. And certain words can definitely date you. So you may say certain slang words like, for example,
I say YOLO a lot.
Oh my gosh, I was going to use that as an example too.
How you know we're always here. We're always here.
So you only live once. Like, people are not using that kind of slang now. Like, even us using that right now is really showing our age.
People who speak English or people who use English currently probably already know what age we are based off of the words that we use.
Yeah, it's really giving millennial coded.
I still remember when I asked you, what the heck does cap mean?
Yeah, I was flabbergasted.
Completely
shocked.
I was like, why do people keep saying cap? Like,
and people don't even use that anymore either. This is like 4 years ago. So that's how you know
4 years ago.
People are the slang is changing constantly. So if you're going on Urban Dictionary to find new slang words, don't do that. Make sure you check with your English speaking friends whether or not this is up to date and it's current.
Now, if you guys use some of our slang, you're cool, because I think our slang is probably one of the better slangs.
I mean, it's better, but we're definitely still in our late 20s.
And that's the
So,
tea.
yeah, that's definitely the tea. Let me take a sip for that.
To our younger days. Okay, so I really like that question. That one made me laugh. But we're going to go ahead and move on. So this is from Focus Fish, and they spoke about losing confidence in their English level. Let's read it. Hello. So I moved to an English-speaking country, and I already knew the language, but I didn't really speak it on a fluent level. I still have a strong accent, and I mess up some words sometimes, but overall, I can keep a conversation and understand perfectly when reading or following instructions. Some people in my life constantly correct me, and I feel way less confident now than when I first moved here. I even think I understand less, and I'm more self-conscious to speak English. Do you think someone else's opinion can really mess up with your ability to speak a language?
That's really interesting. So we totally understand that learning a new language has ups and downs. So here are some tips for you guys on how to regain your confidence and improve your English. So the first one we have here is practice daily.
Yes.
Yeah, so spend a little time each day practicing English. Usually it's really good to kind of get little things in instead of spending hours and hours in one sitting to remember, because doing shorter bursts will help you make it a habit. And by making it a habit, it will help you easily retain your knowledge. Number 2, set small goals. So this kind of goes hand in hand with practicing daily. So doing small things to integrate into your life on a daily basis to make learning kind of like on autopilot.
Like achievable without pressuring you too much.
Exactly. Number 3, so talk to native speakers. So whenever possible, if you can join certain apps that have language exchange, or maybe some of you already have English speaking friends.
Especially this person on Reddit, you're already in an English speaking country. I'm sure you can ask some people, they will be more than willing to help practice your English.
Yeah, definitely. Just take a chance and ask somebody. I know a lot of English speakers. Being an English speaker myself, I've never minded one time of someone coming up to me and asking me questions in English or wanting to practice in English. Relatively, English speakers are pretty nice when it comes to teaching.
Especially when they want to help. Now, not to say like everyone's all nice. I mean, we all have seen the Karens, Kens on the internet.
Yeah. But if they're not receptive to it, then kindly bow out. It's okay.
Yes. And I'm sure the people who are helping correct you on your English don't always take offense to that. English speakers, typically, we are trying to help you in a very kind of a direct way. That just might be the way that we grew up learning. You know, our parents would always say, okay, hold on, let's pause, let's go over that word that you're struggling with and keep repeating it until you get it. That's just the way that we learn, and I think that just kind of reciprocates onto you. I don't take offense or don't feel discouraged that they are correcting you, because some words in English are hard, so it's helpful to hear someone who speaks it to say it.
Yeah, and also repetition is very important. So
it's key.
By you continuing to repeat it the correct way to say it will help you in the long run. Even if you feel a little bit embarrassed or shy about making a mistake, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes.
Yes, 100% true. We even make mistakes when we speak English.
And it's our first language.
Yeah.
And we're still constantly making mistakes. We're still learning new things about English. Even the other day, we were learning about
we had a whole thing. I was questioning my identity.
Maybe one day we can go into the nuances of accents, different dialects in English, because even as us speaking, her in American English, me in Canadian English, it's also different in some ways. So
yes,
we're also learning from each other as well.
100%.
Now, the fourth one is use English daily. So incorporate English into your daily routine. So I have heard of a strategy where people write down English words on post-it notes and put it around their house for different,
Mm-hmm.
so for different things. So say you have your refrigerator, you write refrigerator on your refrigerator, and you'll remember that, oh, this in my language is this thing, but in
Mm-hmm.
English it's refrigerator.
Yes.
So you're constantly seeing it in your daily routine. Now, the last one is watch and listen. So you guys who are listening and watching are kind of already doing this
Yes.
by immersing yourself in English media.
This is
So
why
watching
you should
movies,
subscribe to our
podcasts
channel.
like ours.
Our fun little podcast where you can hear 2 different types of accents in English.
Very cool.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. For number 6, you can read aloud. This is actually very useful and something that we even as native English speakers did growing up. I don't know how it is in Canada, but in the US, we had something called a Dibbles test. I think that's that's what it was called, where we would check our reading fluency and our comprehension skills.
I don't think we have something like that here. I don't remember doing something like that, but I do remember in certain classes we would definitely be encouraged to read aloud.
Yeah,
like we would be called upon to read out loud so the teacher can hear, if this person needs a little bit more work with their reading. Yeah. It's kind of like public shaming and public shaming.
No, thankfully our tests were just one-on-one with someone else to check our understanding.
Yeah, but as a kid you definitely felt like it was public shaming. Like,
heck yeah.
You back there who's sitting back there, read out loud, we need to hear you.
Fond memories, very fond memories. I remember I would sit there hyper focus on the text I was about to read and stress.
Oh yeah, just palm sweating. I don't want to be embarrassed. Hopefully the kids don't laugh at me.
So those of you who are wanting to read and practice out loud, I really recommend look on YouTube. There are people who read books on YouTube aloud. If I were you, I would read it through once myself, listen to the person and how they read it, and then read again. That's really good practice on how to get those tones, the nuances of certain words, and practice without feeling, like we were talking about, getting that embarrassment feeling about reading in front of other people. Now, if you want friends to help you with your reading, also ask them. I've been asked that before by people who are learning English, and I have no problem. Might be because I was a teacher,
or you can definitely look on our Facebook page and see what book we're reading this month for the book club.
That's true.
Yeah, because we will be talking about a book every month, and you'll be able to hear us maybe read some excerpts from the book.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You are now.
Wait, this side.
You can also use apps. I think Arnell kind of mentioned that before. There's a lot of apps to practice learning English.
Yeah, there's like Hello Talk and Meef. Don't use Meef. Don't
use Meef. Cross it out.
Yeah.
Maybe use apps like Duolingo.
That's a good one. Memrise is good too.
I'm currently in France. I don't know if you guys know that or not. And I have to practice French, and it's it's a hard language for me even though it's very similar. Just the accent is what's really difficult in French. I can say that. And practicing every day, setting little goals for yourself, speaking with native people, that really helps with learning a language and getting it down. Join a community, connect with other learners for support. If you guys want to connect on our space, that's also doable. We more than encourage it. But also there's a lot of programs and platforms out there to connect other language learners in the same language. And that kind of helps build your confidence, because you're like, oh, I'm not alone in this journey. Exactly. Embrace your mistakes. Don't be shy to make a mistake. everyone makes mistakes. We make mistakes even in our own native tongue. So for you to make a mistake, that's normal. It happens. You're speaking another language. Like, that's already in itself really amazing. So do not be upset that you make mistakes or you have.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous because I only know 1.5 maybe languages, and you guys already know 2 at least.
You guys are already so far amazing. So do not doubt yourself on that one. Exactly. And last things, the most important point, I think, stay positive. Always keep a positive attitude. It might be hard at times because you feel discouraged. You're just like, why am I not getting this language? That just might be that maybe you got to take a break, because that language is in your head. It's already there. You're just growing a muscle, right? Like, do you expect to be 6 packs, ultimate strongman after one workout session? No, that's not how it works. You have to build this up over time. So don't be discouraged. Just keep going, and it's okay to take breaks.
Exactly, and you're not building a house overnight.
Exactly.
So you got to add the windows. You got to add the doors, the walls. Mm-hmm. You got to slowly get up to having your full, beautiful house.
Exactly, guys. Exactly. You know what? Let's all take a sip of wine and remember, we don't need to stress ourselves out. We can do this. We are human. We make mistakes. Things happen. So cheers to that.
Cheers.
All right, guys.
Thanks for joining us on part 1 of this series.
Reddit, wind down. We thank you guys so much for joining us today. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell. If you have questions about learning English, or you have an experience you want to tell us about, and maybe we can give you some insights or react to your story, comment those down below. If not, for those of you who are listening to our podcast on Spotify, do not forget to add us to your library and to be able to keep up to date when we release episodes. Thank you, guys. I'm Ro.
I'm Arnell.
And this is Lending Language Podcast. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Stay tuned for part 2. As teachers ourselves, we know that starting out as an ESL or English as a second language teacher can be exciting yet challenging. So we put together a couple of tips for this person who wrote their post, and for you, those of you out there who do want to be an ESL teacher.